Did you know there's a game where you can change the actual rules of reality by moving words around? Welcome back to Switch Game List. I've spent months finding these mind-bending Switch games that break all the usual gaming rules. Hit subscribe for more hidden gems like these. Let's dive in. Let's talk about Heave Ho. It's a game where you're basically just arms and a head, swinging around like a deranged acrobat trying to reach the end of each level. The magic happens when friends join in. Suddenly you're all trying to create these ridiculous human chains across deadly gaps. I'll never forget the night we spent hours attempting this one tricky level, screaming every time someone's sweaty hands slipped off the controller at the worst moment. The best part? Failure is just as entertaining as success. There's something hilarious about watching a well-planned maneuver fall apart spectacularly. What the Golf is the kind of game that makes you question what you're actually playing. At first glance, it looks like a simple golf game. Then you try to hit the ball, and instead your golfer gets launched toward the flag. Or the hole starts running away. Or suddenly you're playing a 2D platformer with a golf ball. I never knew what to expect each time I started a new level. Some stages are clever puzzles, others are just pure chaos. But they all share this sense of, what were they thinking? That somehow works perfectly. It's like a joke that keeps getting better with each punchline. Powerwash Simulator sounds like the most boring game ever, right? Just cleaning stuff with a pressure washer. But there's something almost meditative about revealing what's under all that virtual grime. You start with a small patch, work your way across a surface, and slowly uncover the clean texture underneath. Before you know it, 3 hours have passed and you're completely invested in making sure there isn't a speck of dirt left on that fire truck. I've lost count of how many times I've said, just one more section, at 2 a.m. It's strangely addictive watching the dirt disappear. Chants of Sennaar makes you feel like a linguistic detective exploring an ancient tower. You encounter different civilizations, each speaking their own language through symbols and patterns. Nobody tells you what anything means. You just observe, take notes, and start connecting the dots. I found myself keeping a real notebook by my side, sketching symbols and making wild guesses about their meanings. That moment when you finally crack a new word's meaning feels like genuine discovery. It's not about fast reflexes or high scores. It's about paying attention and piecing together a linguistic puzzle. Spiritfarer puts you in charge of a boat for spirits on their final journey, and somehow makes management gameplay feel deeply personal. You build their homes, cook their favorite meals, and simply spend time with them until they're ready to move on. Each spirit brings their own story. Some will make you laugh, others might make you cry. I still remember this old hedgehog who just wanted to tend her garden one last time. It's not about rushing to the finish line, it's about the connections you make along the way and learning to say goodbye. Hey, quick pause here. If you're enjoying this look at some of Switch's finest games, hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Let me know in the comments which of these games you've played or are excited to try. Now, let's continue with our lineup. Baba Is You turns puzzle solving on its head by making the rules themselves part of the puzzle. Every level has these word blocks that create the rules. Baba is you, flag is win, wall is stop, and you can move them around to change how things work. Sometimes the solution is as simple as making rock is push become rock is you. Other times you'll spend hours staring at the screen before that aha moment hits. It's the kind of game that has you solving puzzles in your head long after you've stopped playing. Enter the Gungeon feels like someone collected every wild weapon idea they could think of and turned it into a game. Sure, it's about exploring dungeons and dodging bullets, but the real stars are the absolutely ridiculous guns you find. One might shoot bees, another turns enemies into chickens, and yes, there's even a mailbox that shoots angry letters. Every run through the dungeon feels different because you never know what crazy combination of weapons and items you'll find. Even after hundreds of attempts, I'm still discovering new ways things can interact. Disney Illusion Island captures that classic cartoon feeling while actually being a solid game. Playing as Mickey and friends, each character moves in their own unique way. One might be better at climbing, another at swimming. What really shines is how natural everything feels when playing with friends. You're not forced to work together, but the way the characters' abilities complement each other creates these organic moments of cooperation. It's like being part of an interactive cartoon where the fun comes from figuring things out together. Bear and breakfast is exactly what it sounds like. You're a bear running a bed and breakfast in the woods. The whole concept is delightfully absurd, but it works because it never takes itself too seriously. You're just this bear trying to figure out human hospitality, placing furniture, and making sure your guests have a nice stay. The guests don't seem to mind that their host is a bear, which is part of the charm. I've spent way too many hours trying to create the perfect room layouts and keeping everyone happy. It's surprisingly engaging. Monster Sanctuary takes monster collecting in an interesting direction by making every creature feel genuinely useful. The battles are 3-on-3, and the real fun comes from figuring out how different monsters work together. Some might be great at healing, others at dealing damage, and they all have abilities that help you explore the world too. I've spent hours experimenting with different team combinations, discovering how their skills complement each other. It's satisfying when you finally find that perfect team synergy that just clicks together naturally. Hey, let me know what you think about these games. Maybe you've played some and have a different take, or maybe something here caught your eye. Drop a comment, let's chat about it. See you in the next one.